Hi guys, Crafty Kim here. I have 3 different wood projects for you, and these are all things that I used from stuff I had around the house or in my crafting stash. For the first project, we're using 16 of these 1-gallon paint sticks, and this is some leftover shelf liner I've had. I think I got it at Walmart a long time ago. I'm not even sure. So here I'm just showing you that I lined up the paint sticks to see how many I would use. Like I said, I ended up using 16. You can certainly make this shorter or longer for your preference. So I'm using this black paint and I watered it down so that it was more like a stain, and I'm going to add this to all of the paint sticks. I then decided to add a coat of the Antique Wax by Waverly, and I didn't really like the color, so I'm now adding a coat of the Truffle by Waverly as well. Then I took the pieces outside and sanded them down. Please excuse how I'm applying this E6000. My tube exploded and I had to use a paintbrush to apply it. So I put E6000 and then some hot glue to attach the pieces to the shelf liner, and now I'm just trimming off the excess pieces. And that's literally it for this project. I love how you can roll this up and tuck it away. You can use it as a tray to hold your drink or your food, although it does work better on a square armrest versus a rounded one, obviously. And I've also used this just on the cushion itself, or you can even use it as just a hot plate or a decoration to put under some of your things on your counter for a pop of color, whatever you choose. Alright, so for my next project, I came out into my backyard. Last year, my husband had to cut down some trees because we're trying to clear out the yard a little bit. So I came out here to find some branches, and I had already found some that I wanted to use. So I just wanted to show you right here. This is going to be what we need for our project. And you'll also need some jute cord or twine. This one is from Walmart. Here's my dog Lily, very interested in what I'm doing. I just used a screwdriver and removed the bark. This was actually a lot easier than it looks. I then used this clear spray and sprayed both of the pieces to help give it a more finished look and also help protect it. I drilled 5 holes in each branch. They are 3.5 inches apart from each other, and I used the first branch to mark the second one so that they would be the same distance. You'll need 5 pieces of the jute cord, and I chose to do them 32 inches long. Using a piece of tape, I applied it to the end of the jute cord to help put it through the hole, and then just tied a knot. To put the jute cord through the bottom piece of the branch, I pulled it taut so that I knew how long they needed to be, and of course, because the branches aren't even, they ended up being different lengths. And now I'm just trimming them so they're all the same size. To add the hanger, I took a piece of jute cord and wrapped it around each end of the top branch and then tied about 3 knots. And here it is all finished. It's a very rustic look, but this is actually going to go in my son's room, so I couldn't hang it in there yet. But this just shows you can hang some pictures or some artwork, and my son actually really loves it and can't wait to put it in his room. For the last project, you're going to need a piece of wood. I got a bunch of pieces for free from my boss's husband, and this piece is 19 3/4 inches long by 5.5 inches high by 3/4 inches wide. And then you'll just need some wax paper and some 1-inch nails. And then I have some of these small yarn skeins from Lion Brand, and I used like a hunter green color. You can use any yarn or string you have on hand, and then you'll also just need a hammer. I mixed some of my burnt umber with some black paint, and then using a wet wipe applied it to the wood as a stain. So we need to fit the wax paper to the same size as the printer paper, and so I'm just cutting that to fit, and then you're going to take some tape and attach it to the printer paper. I put tape on all 4 sides. I found this free printable, and I will link that below, and I saved the picture to my camera and flipped it so that it was backwards, and then printed it on the wax paper with my printer. It's important to make sure the wax paper is flat against your printer paper. As you can see here, it did smudge a little bit, but I just cleaned it up with a wet wipe. And then I just cut out the words so that it was easier to apply to the wood sign. And here I'm using the white piece of paper that was behind the word dream to center it on the board so I know exactly where I want to put it. And I'm going to place it down. Now remember, this isn't sticky, so be careful. You don't want to move it once you put it down. And then I just used my ruler to rub the ink onto the wood. And then I went in with some black paint and filled in the words. Okay, let's see if I can explain this so that you guys understand. These black dots are where the nails are gonna go. The first and third row are each 1 inch from the edge of the board, and then they are 1 inch from the side of the board. The second row is 2 inches from the side of the board, and then each row is 2 inches apart, and the dots that go diagonal are also 2 inches apart. Hopefully that makes sense. Now for the front of the arrow, I did, again, 1 inches from the top and bottom of the end of the wood, and then 1 inch from the side. And then the shortest points are 2 inches apart for the arrow, and the longest point is 3 inches apart. So now that we have everything marked, I'm going to start applying the nails, and I'm measuring to have them stick out 1/4 inch. Okay, so bear with me, this was my first time ever doing string art, but you tie one end to the first nail, and then you go to the middle nail, wrap it around, go down to the other nail, wrap it around, and you kind of continue this pattern. It's easier just to watch what I'm doing. When you're done the first 2 nails, you go up to the next nail in the center, and then go around to the outside nail, make a loop around the middle nail to kind of lock it in place, and then go up to the next nail. And you keep doing this so that you get that diagonal pattern. And if you noticed, when we start from the first nail, that only has 1 string, because when you come back down, that's where you're going to tie it off. Okay, so we've done all of the ones at the bottom of the arrow. So you pull the string up to the top of the arrow and wrap it around the first nail, and then go over to the second one. And then, as you can see here, I just figured out that you have to go to the top point of the arrow and then just keep wrapping around until you finish off back down at the first nail and then into the middle. Now we're bringing the string back down to the bottom of the arrow, and you're going to wrap it around the first nail and then just bring it to the second one. And you can see I'm kind of pushing the string down with my finger so that I have room to lock it in place by wrapping it around. And then once you go to the last nail, that's where you're going to tie it off. And now I'm just using some super glue to apply to the ends of the string where I cut the pieces off, and just kind of folding it down with my fingers so that you don't see the frayed edges. And I'm going to hang this with the sawtooth hangers, and I went 3 inches from the side and 1/4 inch from the top. And I put 2 of these, 1 on each side. And here it is, all finished. This is definitely my favorite DIY out of all 3 projects, and I can't wait to hang it in my son's room with the picture holder, and I just really love it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and are staying safe and healthy, and remember, craft from your stash.